Hola amigos, it's Juli Franco, Colombian visa expert and relocation consultant. And today I want to make a video explaining everything you need to know about owning a car or a motorcycle in Colombia. I decided to do this video in March, that is this month, because it's normally the time that we pay taxes in Colombia, and I want to explain to you guys right now how to do it. Also in November, I record some part of the process that I am going to explain, doing it with my own car. So I'm gonna post it there for you to understand more. In that videos, you are gonna see Christmas lights or trees, things like that, but it's because I record myself when I was doing this process so I can show you to you guys. I understood all these taxes, fees and inspections and different things that you have to do with your car or motorcycle are very confused. So I decided to do this video by sections. So let's start. Section 1, buying a car in Colombia. One of the most common questions I have in my consultation calls from my clients is if they can ship the car to Colombia. And my general answer is no. Why? Because the process is so complicated. Some of the cars cannot be shipped here into Colombia, or maybe the tax to ship it and the transportation will be making more expensive that car than if you buy one here in Colombia. Other important thing that I want you to know is here in Colombia, cars are more expensive than in other countries. That is because we have to pay importation tax, IVA, and at the end, in the cost of your car, you will be paying between 30 and 40% just for the taxes of all that process. That's why some brands or dealerships like Renault, that cars is a little more cheaper than other brands, because Renault are cars that are assembled here in Colombia, and also the parts are cheaper because are easy to find, and all the mechanics here basically know how to fix it. So that is the reason you will see a lot of Renaults or Chevy or Chevrolet brand here in Colombia, because are cheaper, easy to fix for us. Other important thing to know is that you can buy a car with your passport. You don't need to have a cédula or a visa to buy a car in Colombia. The most important thing is that you have to be registered in the transit with something that is called RUNT, R-U-N-T. The RUNT is different, and is a very common mistake that people or foreigners confuse RUNT with RUT, that is other thing that is for taxes. That is the reason I help a lot foreigners and also Colombians to be registered in the transit in order to buy the car. I will do that process. One of my services like concierge is do that process easy for you. One big difference to buy a car in Colombia with other countries, especially United States, is that when you buy a car here in Colombia, you have to do a process that involves the transit police and also the notary. Because here in Colombia, when you buy a car, you have to do a contract, write a lot of documents, go to register their car in your name. Also, you need to check that the car is clean record, that they don't have parts that came from an stalled car or something like that. So to do the process to buy a car, like a Colombians and also foreigners, you need somebody to help you to do that process. Other good thing to know about buying a car in Colombia is that second-hand or used cars in Colombia sometimes are more expensive than a new car. Why? Because the importations take times for new cars, so sometimes used cars are more available than a new car. Sometimes when you go to a dealership to buy a new car, they will tell you that you have to wait some months for your new car. So sometimes we increase the prices for used cars for that reason. For example, my old car, I sell it for the same price that I buy it 8 years after. So like I say, buying a car in Colombia is a very confused process, including for us Colombians. So we always use somebody to go with us and help with all the process, especially to check that the car is in very good conditions. Because when you buy a car in a dealership that is new, they will give you a car with warranty and explain you everything about the car. But when you buy a used car in Colombia, you don't know if the motor is okay or nothing like that. And we also have special places where you can take a used car to make an inspection, and they tell you how is the, we say, a state or of the car or the conditions of the car. And that is when you decide if you will buy it or not. Another common question that I have about cars is if you can buy a car with credit in Colombia. And remember guys, like foreigners, you don't have credit history here in Colombia, so no, you have to buy the car with cash. And when I say cash, means you also can use a debit or credit card in the place. Other thing that is important to know is that I say you can buy a car with passport. That means you can drive a car like tourist with your stamp in your passport like tourist in Colombia for the 90 days that you have the permit like tourist here. After that 90 days expire, you have to be sure you get a driver's license in Colombia. And remember, to get that driver's license in Colombia, the first thing you have to do is register in the RUNT. Know the RUNT. Up next is SOAT. SOAT in Spanish means Seguro Obligatorio de Accidentes de Tránsito. And basically is an obligatory liability insurance. When I say the obligatory is because if you don't have your SOAT and the transit police stop you or you pass through a camera, they will confiscate your car, or if you have an accident and you don't have the SOAT, you can go to jail. The SOAT is an insurance that is in name of your car, no in name of the person. Here in Colombia, when you buy the SOAT will be in the car number. That means doesn't matter who is driving the car. If you have an accident, covers the driver, the passenger, the driver in the other car, the passenger in the other car, or the pedestrian. Doesn't matter who is driving because it's the car that has the insurance. Other thing is the SOAT covers for person. Is covering people in the accidents, no material things. Doesn't cover damages in the car, only people, and covers for medical, hospitalization, medicine, also incapacidad, dead, if somebody gets handicapped, things like that is covered with the SOAT. We have to buy SOAT every year. And doesn't matter when you buy the SOAT. The SOAT will start by the day the old one expires. It's very important to get the SOAT. I always say, please don't forget. It's something very, very important to have because like I said, if you don't have it, you can lose your car or your freedom. The other thing is like the SOAT, you can buy it in too many different parts, online, stores, in the towns they sell it. Doesn't matter where you buy it, it costs the same everywhere. The difference will be $1-2, and the important is you buy it on time. The cost of the SOAT depends of the size of your motor, the model, the year. That means bigger the motor of your car, more expensive will be the SOAT. A truck, for example, pay a higher SOAT than a regular car. And the SOAT also apply for motorcycles. Up next is the inspection, or in Spanish, revisión técnico-mecánica. La revisión técnico-mecánica or inspection has to be done in a place that is called CDA, CDA. Doesn't matter where, the town, the city, that place is called CDA. You don't need an appointment for that, you just show up in your car. Very important, when you go to do it, you have to wash your car. This is not because you want to show up with your beautiful car clean, no, it's because they need to check sensors and parts that the car has to be clean in order to see it. The other thing is to do the inspection, you have to have your SOAT active. The insurance that I said before, that insurance has to be active. And that inspection will take sometimes 15 minutes to 40 minutes, depending how much people is in the place. But the good thing is you can wait there. They always have a waiting room with coffee, I don't know, water or some tea. So you just wait there and they will give you the certificate when it's ready. The beat you are listening is because they are checking the battery and that all the signs in the car are working. It's important to know that if your car is new, you don't have to do the inspection. You only have to do inspection in your car after the 5 years of your car, or after 5 years old. I don't know how to explain that, but you guys get it. If my car passed the inspection, they will give me the approval for 1 year. It's important to do it every year before expire, and depends of the cc or the size of your motor, they charge you. For example, for mine is like 300 and something thousand pesos. Okay, so we went out. I have the certification, and they was very nice. I told them I was recording for my clients. So they give me a special paper where they explain what they do in the inspections. So basically, they check all the lights, they check the brakes, they check the emissions, the gases emissions, the suspensions, how the car is moving, if the tires move in the correct way, if the car has good tires, if there's enough air in the tires, if the tires has a good tread, and just a visual inspection. And if your car approved, like I say, they just give you a document that you have to have in your car. Okay, this is the other thing. If your car doesn't pass the inspection, they will give you a document in order for you to drive your car without the approval, but you have 5 days to go to the mechanic or a dealership or a place to fix the problem they say it is no good, and come back and they inspect again the car and give you the approval, and you don't have to pay again. You only pay one time. The inspection also is for motorcycles, cars and motorcycles. Up next is vehicle tax or impuesto vehicular. So impuesto vehicular or vehicle tax apply for cars and motorcycles and has to be paid in the state, or here in Colombia, departamento where your car is registered. That means if your car is registered in Medellin or Rio Negro or La Ceja or El Retiro, you pay the tax in Antioquia. Or if your car is registered in Bogota, you pay the tax in Cundinamarca. Or if your car is registered in Cartagena, you pay the tax in Magdalena. Okay? The tax has to be paid every year, and the first 4 months of the year we have discounts. That is the reason I am doing this video right now, because in this month we have discounts. Here in Antioquia, if you pay the first 4 months of the year, you will have 10% discount for regular vehicles, 50% discount for hybrid vehicles, or 20% discount for electric vehicles. That is the reason I am doing this video right now, because it's a good time to go and pay it and have the discount. Other important thing that is happening right now in this month, in March, is that the transit minister here in Antioquia, in this state, has these places in the malls where you can go with a copy of your owner's car, that I'm going to show what it is, to that place, office, or point they have in the malls, and pay directly there the tax using a debit or a credit card. Other way to pay it is online. I help a lot my clients to do it, or going to the transit police office to pay it. So go now if you have a car and take advantage of this and pay it. From April to July, you pay without a discount, and after July, you will pay with interest or fine in some of the states. Another common question that I have is how much I'm going to pay for that tax. And that tax is calculated based in the value of your car, from 1.5% to 3.5%. I'm gonna leave a table here around where you can see how they calculate that cost. Up next is sistematización or semaforización. It's a fee that you pay in some of the cities. Not all the cities charge this fee. No city in the Oriente Antioqueño charge for this fee. But Envigado, Medellin, or Bogota, for example, they charge for that. It's a very small fee that you have to pay in the city where your car is registered, if apply, and it's also 2-day minimum wage. That means less than 100,000 pesos for this year 2026, and you have to pay every year. This you also can pay it online or going to the office in the city where your car is registered. Up next is kit de carretera or emergency kit. By law in Colombia, the kit de carretera has to have 9 things: gato, cruceta, 2 señales reflectivas, triángulo o conos, botiquín de primeros auxilios, 2 tacos para bloquear, caja de herramientas básica, with alicates, destornilladores, llaves, llanta de repuesto, linterna y extintor. About extinctors or fire extinguisher, they expire every year, so you have to be sure you have one that is no expired in your car. You can refill them in the bomberos or fire station, or you can buy one in some stores around the cities. I refill mine in the bomberos or fire station in La Ceja, and I am going to leave a very cool, nice clip here for you to also have fun seeing the process. So right now I said everything you have to know if you are the owner of a car in Colombia. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you like it. Leave your comments, subscribe, and remember to go to my webpage. Ciao amigos. So I explained that every year for your car you have to have your SOAT, your technico-mechanical or inspection, but also you have to have your extinguisher refill. I normally try that 3 things be issued in the same week, because normally it's like that. When you buy a new car, everything will be issued the same day, so I try every year to renew it like the same week, and that way I don't have to think too much, oh, when this expired or blah blah. We are driving to the fireman department, and we will tell you there a very nice story about Colombia firemen and why we are going to get the extinguisher there. Here in Colombia is a very particular story about it. So we are in the fire department because here in Colombia, the firemen, they are volunteer. Okay, that is super cool. The way they pay the bills for the buildings and the gasoline and everything is they refill the extinguishers. So we came today because mine is expired in October and it's November. And I give this to them and they will give me one new and I just pay them, and with this they pay the expenses to help the community. So in each municipality of town or city, you can do it. You just go to the fire department and exchange you old one for a new one and pay for it. Entonces quiero mostrarles que los bomberos en Colombia son voluntarios y que parte del trabajo es que son ustedes los que recargan los extintores. Sí, gracias. ¿Cuánto vale?
12 minutos como mucho.
Okay. So the cost is just 12,000 pesos. That means right now in 2025, we're in November, it's like $3. The guy went inside to do it. Come. So the dog is from here, from the firemen, and is training to rescue people. Give it to me. They have 3 ambulances, but the 3 works. This is a very old one, but works. Oh, es muy grande.
Sí, es muy amplia, muy cómoda, pero ya está muy viejita.
Telling that this is the first answer for emergencies. This is the first one that get out. Sale esta después de
Esa y esta. Ajá. Esta es primera respuesta.
Y esto se los donan o no. ¿Cómo ha sido la cosa?
Es que puede ser por convenios o puede ser por donaciones o porque la institución adquiere la plaza y la compra, entonces se pueden adquirir de varios. Esta ya es la máquina contra incendios, o sea, también es la primera respuesta frente a máquinas.
We are in La Ceja, that is where I live, so this is the emergency number.
Por dentro.
Ay, cabe mucha gente ahí, mira. ¿Cuántos se montan ahí?
5.
5.
Pues sí, se montan 2 y 3 acá. Igual ese, como los equipos de nosotros son tan grandes, entonces como nos montamos en el equipo no puede ser un espacio muy reducido porque si no cabríamos.
No caben, ok. She's explaining to me that they always have to have 100 psi and pressure, but they have to calculate how long is the hose and if the water is going vertical and everything. So maybe is 500, but in the mouth of the hose is gonna be 100. So they have to know a lot of things. I was very impressed because I didn't know they have to calculate that kind of situation. This only brings water to refill the other one. Okay, so what she's explaining us is like this is smaller because this one is big the space because they have to go inside with all the wearing on everything, so it's too big for, so they need a lot of space. Okay, so we are doing this. They don't know we have a YouTube channel. I came here with my girlfriend and we were recording the extinctor, and they was like, do you want to see inside? Do you want to see the vehicles or the cars? And they don't know this is for YouTube. They are just that nice. Okay. They have a lot of equipment.
El tamaño no es reducido.
It's like basically they do like all the emergency things. If you have like bees in your house, they go, or if you need to transport a sick person, they go in the ambulance and do it also for you. They will charge you sometimes, but they quote you before. Like if you have bees in your house, they tell you we go and rescue for you, or rescue the bees, or rescue you from the bees, and they will charge you something. It's just to help them to, and they have motorcycles also.
Y esa es la primera respuesta.
Nada, mira, se me quedó. They are looking, they are, because I broke a parking, so they are going to put a new one for 50 cents of dollar. So we are not the only here that came to refill. They came to refill, and they also having a tour. It's not something that they are doing for us because they are filming. It's like when you come, they are very nice and try to explain you how this works. So other municipality, El Retiro, has that machine before, and they give it to La Ceja because they have a new one. So La Ceja, they are fixing that little by little. So now we will have here too. That is very nice. Like other towns give us a... Oh no, this is from UK. Ella maneja ese.
Sí.
¿Y entonces quién va a manejar eso?
También los bomberos de acá les toca acostumbrarse sin problemas, pero sí es al lado derecho. En cambio en Colombia pues todos son a la izquierda, entonces sí.
So this came from UK originally. So you see, they have to drive to the right side. So they are practicing.
Ya pues todo, pues todavía en Colombia se le han montado.
It's funny because my girlfriend is from UK. Today I want to say thank you to Deborah for buying me this coffee. Thank you so much for your support. I buy today a coffee and Juan Valdez a cappuccino with balanced coffee and no lactose milk. Thank you so much, Deborah, for your support.